And welcome to Two Local Radio. This is Ray Ray, and today I have a very special guest. I have the rapper, or the rap vocalist / metal vocalist, Insanulous.
What's up, Ray? How you doing, man?
And he's in the studio, and his songs are very refreshing. Let me explain why. I don't even know why I'm saying his. You're right here. I'm so used to doing phone interviews by now,
right.
But the thing about your songs is that they're very comical. Where did you come up with that?
Well, with the comic aspect, pretty much, Insanulous is everything that I would never be. He's a sociopathic bastard. He's such a piece of crap, and I find it funny whenever he talks about going and getting a girl and then terrible things happening to him in that aspect. The comedy just really came out of it because I like being funny. I like making people smile. So if anyone listens to it and gets a chuckle out of it, that's I did my job correctly. So I guess the humor just came from my personality.
Well, I absolutely love with what you did, with Miley Virus.
Yeah, that was. I had fans from my old metal days, and they were asking me to go back and scream some more, and I was like, wow, I don't have a band anymore, and it's hard to get people to come down, play drums, thrash on the guitar and stuff. So that's I'm pretty much going over other people's rap beats, but I figured why not have an entire rap that was just completely screamo, and I'm not a huge fan of Miley Cyrus's character, so why not bust on somebody for a minute and give her what's for.
There you go. I mean, because people don't realize. That wasn't all, an act years ago. I mean, she was playing the goody two-shoes and everything, and that's no disrespect to her. Maybe that's just what she wanted to do all along, and she had to make money.
Right. No, of course. It's say what you want to about Miley. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of her character, but she definitely won the year of 2013. There wasn't anyone on the planet who wasn't at least talking about it. Even if you didn't like her, people were talking about Miley Cyrus. She didn't win a single award. No, she didn't get an MTV award. She didn't get a Grammy. She didn't get anything. But she definitely won the year. She was the most talked about celebrity last year.
Well, of course she was. She was twerking. Doing every other thing. So, I mean, what made you wanna get into hip hop and rap and everything out of all the genres?
Well, I've done metal, I've done pop, I've done musical theater, I've done almost everything. The reason I started rapping was actually a fluke. It's I was working at my other job. And I was just kidding around with somebody one day, and I looked at him and said, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing a rap song," and it was just a joke. But their exact response to that was, "Okay, buddy, yeah, you have fun." And when someone looks at me and someone looks at me and says that I can't do something, especially when it comes to music, I'm going to prove you wrong. So instead of writing a rap song, I went ahead and did an entire rap album, which led to a second rap album. So it's definitely different than everything else I've ever done because it's very rhythmic, but I'm having a lot of fun doing it.
So do you? I mean, I understand that you're very musically inclined and everything, but would you say that hip hop, as far as wind wise, takes a lot more out of you?
Well, no. I think opera and metal have to be the two hardest things that I've ever done. If you listen to some of my songs where I'm going ridiculously fast, that can be a problem because you have to pull in really, really quick to get everything out that you want to do. In studio, I can break it up. I can go for as long as I can, and then we can go back and do it. Whenever you do it live, on the other hand, it's a different story. It can take a lot out of you, but it's definitely nowhere near as tough as screaming. For hours on end.
So do you miss that metal aspect of your life?
No, I still get to sing metal. I still get to sing metal at my other job, and I try to incorporate a lot of the metal into the music that I do. I also do a lot of covers, and I try to metalize them. So I still get my screaming in there when I can.
All right. Well, if we have any issues, I'm not hearing nothing. But if there's any like major noise in the background, I do apologize. We will have that fixed tomorrow morning. They were going to fix it today, but you know how people are. They say one thing and then do another.
Oh yeah, man, politics.
You know, and they're like, "Well, you're not on the special list."
Right.
And I'm like, I didn't know I needed a gold star.
Man, that's how companies get you, man, you know.
So why don't you describe, you know, what you currently do for people?
What I currently do, I actually teach vocals at a place in Maryville, and I work with kids and some adults who, you know, come in and want to learn how to sing, you know. So it's the best job ever, man. I get paid to sing. I may not be famous and I may not have a record deal or anything like that, but I get to sing every single day of my life. So, you know, I can't bash it.
So is that something you really? I mean, when somebody comes in and they don't know a lick about singing, and then you know work with them for a while, and you hear them like a year later, and they're like phenomenal. How does that make you feel?
Oh, it makes me feel phenomenal. It really does, man. It makes me feel so good because I've had some people come in there and they're like, "Hey, I can't sing," but my rule is everybody can sing, and it's the truth. Everybody can sing. It's just a matter of finding the right song. And if you don't believe me, and I'm going to get a lot of people pissed off at me here, but if you don't believe me, listen to Janis Joplin. Janis Joplin had a voice like no other, and she could sing blues so fucking good. But if you gave her anything else that wasn't in that strict genre that she was in, she would have sounded terrible. You know, so everybody can sing. You just have to find your right rhythm.
Well, I don't know if everybody can sing, but you know, you're the vocal person. So.
Everybody can sing, I promise you. If you come in there and you sound like Barry White, I can get you on some Barry White, or if you're into country, I can get you singing some Johnny Cash. You know, Johnny Cash could not do what Freddie Mercury could do. You know, so it's all a level of what your voice can handle.
Now, you know, being that you were, you know, into metal and, you know, pop and did different things, now doing rap, do you feel that, you know, rap is a second level to other music, or is it on the same wavelength? It's just something different about it?
It's just something different. It's definitely more rhythmic than anything else I've ever done. Whenever I sit down and rap, I almost take a metal aspect to it because I try to think, what would a double bass kick here, you know, do? Like, and I try to figure out how I can get my voice to match that exact same rhythm.
That makes give yourself more, you know, credit, because if people that listen to, you know, metal, you know, that listen to our show, like I'm sure, you know, Kevin from Omega Down is going to be listening. You know, when it comes to metal, especially like death metal, you can't understand what the fuck they're saying unless you know, grew up on that or you trained your ear like that. It's just like reggae.
I think a lot of the opera and the musical theater kind of pulled that out of me, you know, because around here, whenever you do opera, whenever you do musical theater, especially in this area, you have a southern twang growing up, but They will teach you to elongate your vowels, you know. So whenever you sing, everything's you know. So I think that I really took that with me whenever I started doing the metal. Because the first things I did was musical theater and opera. So whenever I went into metal, I already had that establishment, you know, that foundation of elongation and very open tones. So I think that just came with me when I started screaming.
And you know, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I just didn't know if it was possible. I mean, like I said, I grew up on all kinds of, you know, death metal and metal artists, and I love it to death. But a lot of, especially the local bands, you just can't understand what the hell they're saying. Right?
Yeah, you listen to Cannibal Corpse, and you're like, wait, what just happened? All I hear is a guttural, you know. So.
Well, it's just like this. It's the same with true, like, Jamaican reggae. It's the exact same. If you don't in tune your voice, your voice, your ears, if you can't, focus your ears on what they're saying, you're not going to get it.
Right? Yeah, it's almost another language. You really have to twist yourself into that scene. Like you said, it's if someone's not huge into metal, you're not going to have the right ear for it, unless someone is extremely articulate.
Or if there's lyrics on the words.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course.
Okay, before I was talking about the whole, change to YouTube. I don't know if people know this, but YouTube is changing their policy where, okay, if you're an artist and you're signed to somebody, you're okay. If you're on the indie label and you are going to pay your fees, you're okay. But if you're just an indie, artist or an indie band trying to get somewhere, you no longer can have stuff up on YouTube. Unless you're as just a regular user.
Unless you can pull in some money, right?
Yeah, exactly. I kind of think that's fucked up.
I think it's fucked up. I really do. I mean, Google, YouTube. I mean, it's a business, so they're going to try to pull in their money any way that they can. But you look at these artists who have made it big, just from going viral, just from having one video, whether it's doing a cover, and if we take away from that, it's almost a form of censorship. I mean, I get it. If you're doing someone else's song, and they're not getting rights for it, but no one's paying to use YouTube right now. No one's doing that. So I'm torn.
And that's the thing. They want them to pay.
Oh, of course they do. No, of course they do, man.
YouTube, because Google was the nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Or they were the best way I can explain it is everybody, when the Xbox One came out, this is in video game terms,
right?
They all mocked the Xbox and said, well, hey, I'm going to go to Sony route because they're not doing the exact same. Sony is exactly doing the same, but they just came out a different way of doing it.
Right. I think what really shot Xbox in the foot was their game sharing. You couldn't share anyone's game unless you paid for it. But they reneged on that. They pulled back from that. But I'm personally more a Sony guy myself, to be honest with you.
But what I'm saying is we're doing the exact same thing. The reason I'm explaining that is we're going to go back to Microsoft. Mm-hmm. I hate mentioning dropping names and everything, but it is what it is. And on the Microsoft, Google would look like the good guys.
Right.
They look like the guys that were for the average, working person.
Money can change somebody.
And now they look like the monsters just as much as Microsoft. And that's no disrespect to them, because I understand from a business ass point that makes sense.
Right. When you're a multi-billion corporation, though, it's. I can't see screwing the little guy out of a chance for something. I just can't get it. But I'm a hippie, so I believe in equality and grooviness for everybody. So,
I mean, they're saying the videos that are with Vivo, okay, they'll keep on and everything. But I mean,
of course they get money from Vivo. They got advertisements on that.
Millions of talented artists out there that are now just going to get screwed. And it's like, all right, well, now you can't have a YouTube video.
Right. There was a little girl from Sweetwater who just got famous, and she was on the Today Show and all this good stuff. And the only reason she got famous was the right person saw her singing a song on YouTube. And if that had been changed 2 months ago, she would never have gotten her shot. So I mean, I don't know, man. I just don't get it. To me, it's a form of censorship, and I'm not a fan of censorship in the arts.
I'm not either, and if the FCC ever came to Internet Radio and said, okay, well, we're going to get you for every cuss words, I'd be like, fuck you.
Fuck.
Take something from me. I have nothing. Nothing plus nothing equals you still ain't getting shit.
Yeah, I need to make a shirt that says straight up, fuck the FCC,
And that's not against them. They're doing their job.
No, they are. No, of course they are. Of course they are. I think I'd hate it for my son to turn on one of the FM stations and every other word be F this, F that, F this,
Yeah.
But internet's different, man. Do not censor the internet. This is our last place of freedom on this planet that is 100% freedom. Please do not censor the internet.
Well, they actually tried to shut it down today. It didn't work too well, though.
Oh, good. Good it didn't work.
Well, it's because the businesses lost so much money because everybody does everything on the internet.
People would revolt. Facebook was down yesterday for 30 minutes, and they said that people were just having a conniption fit.
Oh, that's what happened yesterday.
Yeah, that's what happened yesterday.
All right, so going back to you, I hate to, change.
Oh, we're good, man. I'll talk about anything.
But, going back to, your career, how hard was it to do a different style? And really, where did you come up with your lyrics? Because you seem like such a, down-to-earth guy.
Well, like I said, Insanulous is a character, and like I said before, he is everything that I will never be because he's such a terrible person. I just try to put myself into a funny mindset, or for lack of a better word, a violent mindset, something that I would never do in a million years, And that's really where my lyrics come from. I'll see something or I'll hear something and I'll just be like, oh, I bet I could do a song about that, and really try to make it better. Or in other instances, I will listen to, and I'm not going to drop any names here, but I'll listen to someone else who I personally think is a terrible rapper, and I will take their beat and show them what someone with and pardon my humbleness here, show them what someone with some actual talent can do over it.
I thought it was funny that you did a remix or a comedy, version of, Bubba Sparks, out of all people.
Oh yeah, the Buttermilk Biscuits. Yeah, that's a beat from Timbaland, called Jimmy Mathis, and I actually own none of my beats whatsoever. I own all of my lyrics; they're copywritten. I own those, but I rap over other people's music, and I heard the country twang in it, and I was like, you know what? I'm from Tennessee. I got to do something with a little bit of Southern flavor on it.
Yeah, it kind of really grinded my gears when. All he did was slip up, being, from the South and say a stupid thing, and he's never going to get that back. But that's just how it is. Right,
yeah, that's music. It can happen to anybody. What sucks is, you look at people like Kanye West, who should have been blacklisted years ago, and no one does anything about it. But Bubba Sparks makes one slip, and that's that.
Yeah, exactly. Your career is over with.
What's funny about that is actually at the beginning of the song that you're talking about, there's Paula Deen talking. That's someone else who slipped up and kind of lost her career.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Mm-hmm. And I understand what you're saying with Kanye, because years ago when he started, doing his music, and he said, we'll never let any of the light skins in. Mm-hmm. Again, to me, that's racial.
Oh, of course it is. Racism is such a wasted emotion nowadays. Hate people for who they are, not for what they look like. But what drilled it in for me for Kanye was, number one, the Taylor Swift thing. You're Kanye. I'm sure you don't listen to country music, but fact of the matter is, the girl won. Let her have her moment. And another thing that really pissed me off about him was the day after Michael Jackson died, he held a press conference to say that he was the new king of pop, and that just threw me for a loop.
Yeah, it's just that's just the way some people are.
Oh, yeah.
Some people are just crazy.
Exactly. In my raps, I talk about, being the king shit and everything, but I don't actually believe that. So I understand rapping about cars and chains and being a rap god, but come on, man, be humble. You wouldn't be anywhere without your fans, and that's who you have to remember is your fans, not you.
Well, that's why I like that other country I guess you could, country artist that's a rapper, Big Smo.
Big Smo, oh yeah, man, straight from Tennessee. Yeah, just got a reality show. Yeah, he's phenomenal. I heard his stuff a couple years back, and I was really impressed with him.
I've actually tried to reach out to him, but then again, I've tried to reach out to Lizard Lick too. I haven't got a reply, but hey, you never know.
Well, Big Smo is about to blow up. I mean, he already has been over the last couple weeks, and I think people are really going to see, hey, those Southern guys can keep it up. I mean, you look at people like Yellow Wolf, who's from Georgia, and he's signed to Interscope. Man, he's just blowing it out of the water right now too.
Well, I mean, if you heard some of the songs, from Dirty D, the local, Maryville artist, and his boys, they're badass.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so there's a lot of talent down south, but then again, there's a lot of talent up north.
Oh, yeah. See, that's what I love about music. It doesn't matter where you're from. It does not matter where you're from. Yeah, perfect example, Mumford & Sons doing bluegrass. It sounds like they're coming straight out of Kentucky, and these guys are from England. You know, earlier today you played for me someone doing some country, and they're from Pennsylvania, and it sounded like it just came right out of the Appalachian Mountains. You know, so I mean, it's just
that's the interview tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It's just so amazing. You know, music transcends borderlines. You know, I mean, you can be from anywhere and sound amazing. Modest Yahoo from the Bronx does reggae better than most people from Jamaica I've ever heard. You know, I mean, it's just so cool how music is just a melting pot of awesomeness.
You know, I ask this a lot, but I'd like to, you know, being that you're a vocal teacher and you teach all kinds of students, and I'm sure you give direction and advice to them. Mm-hmm. Do you see today's music industry with the labels all basically? None of them are owned in the United States anymore.
Right. Well, that's just like any other big business here in America. You know, I mean, if you can do it cheaper somewhere else, they move there, and that's one of the reasons why our economy has been going down the toilet for the past 15 years. So,
but you know, that's for another show.
Right. Sorry. Yeah.
Maybe after the interview, maybe we'll do next week's Button Broach or something. But here is the deal, though. With it being the way it is, and you being an artist yourself, mm-hmm. and teaching other artists, you never know if one of your students could end up the next big thing. You never know.
Right.
Okay. But with this generation of the digital, generation, that's mm-hmm. what I call this new generation.
Right.
Can you see a lot more people, self-promoting and going the indie route rather than the label route?
Well, yeah. Now that the internet's been around for a while, but you see these new indie labels coming up and really starting to make money. But the thing about that is then they're bought out by people like Island, and then they're bought out by people like Interscope, and they're bought out by all these huge companies. The good thing about that is you can come from nothing and make something quickly. The bad thing about that is a lot of the people who the indie labels could have signed aren't there, So I think with the digital age, if YouTube's changing, then that's gonna have a big impact on it. But I think with the digital age, it's easier to get your name out there than it was a few years back when you had to pretty much storm into a record label and hand them your demo tape and pray that they listen to it. So it's a lot easier to make fans that way. With I'm on Reverb Nation, and with Reverb Nation, I can literally reach out to anyone in the area, and not even in the area. I can reach out to people all across the world and get them to either listen to music, either they love it, they hate it, but they know I'm there, and that's just like me. I can just go to absolutely anybody and listen to what they want to do.
And we're grateful to Reverb Nation for two reasons. Our submission thing has already gotten over 200, well, not 200, but 2,000 different bands.
Whoop, whoop.
And there's still like 30, 40 days, and this is the first one.
Yeah.
The next one's going to be even,
Mm-hmm.
and we're just very grateful to be working with them and everything that Reverb Nation does.
Oh yeah, man! Shameless plug. They've been awesome. They really have. It's one of the only places that you can go and just listen to censor-free music and from absolutely anybody. And just you could be on there for days just listening to amazing music from all across the world.
Exactly, and places like that, I hope they never change.
Oh, me either. Oh no, if they started charging for Reverb Nation, it would literally break my heart.
Well, I mean, I paid for some things. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are ways that they can make money.
There's a primo package and everything, and it's totally worth it. I just with the job that I'm at right now, I don't really want to start touring or anything like that. I'm just happy being an internet voice.
Well, you explained off the air that you're a bit of a family man too.
Oh yes, I am. Yeah. I got a wife, 2 kids. Like I said, if you listen to my music, you will not even believe that it's me because of how despicable the character of Insanulous is. But yeah, I couldn't see myself going and going on tour or anything like that just because, I want to be around my wife, I want to be around my kids. And like I said, I have the best job ever, man. I have the best job ever. I get to work with kids and their voices. So I don't want to leave. I don't want to make it big or anything like that.
Well, bringing that up, why don't you tell me a time where, one of your students, you don't have to mention names or anything. I know confidentiality. And you don't have to mention what was said. But where, an example of where one of the, kids was, down on their luck and you just, turned around and you said, hey, look up or something of that sort.
Oh, yeah, I'm one of the most positive people you'll ever meet. I've had so many students come in and think that they couldn't sing or that they were terrified of singing in front of people or, socially awkward or anything like that. And once you get to know me, I'm one of the most likable people in the world. Once you get to know me, that can all turn around. I'm making myself sound all big-headed, but I promise you I'm not. It's just all about positivity. And once you see a student, whether they're a kid or not, that was absolutely terrified to sing in front of people, get up in front of a crowd of 200 people and let out singing, man. That's just a point of pride, not only for me but also for them, because they definitely jumped a hurdle that they never thought they'd be able to jump.
Yeah, they went from, possibly, when they were older, at a karaoke bar to now they could go on a stage.
Exactly.
Somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So that must really make you feel good inside.
Oh, of course it does. And what I love about it is I can give you the right direction and what to do with your voice, but whenever it comes to you being up there with yourself and a microphone, it's really up to you at that point. And the second that it lights up for them, that's on them now. I can step back and take a little bit of pride for it, but they did it themselves.
What would you tell, just for example, I'm not trying to give all your tips and tactics away, but for somebody with stage fright, what is one of the things that you tell them? Not everything.
Oh, no. I'll tell you exactly what I tell them, because this is true for anybody. When you get up on stage, and whether you're a guitarist, whether you're a drummer, whether you're a vocalist, whenever you're holding your instrument, if you're a vocalist, you're holding your microphone, and you look out into that crowd, whether it's 5 people, whether it's 5 million, everybody gets nervous, but the fact of the matter is, when you are holding that mic, you are in charge. You are the person who is in charge of that. You may think that these people in front of you have a hold on you with their gaze and the butterflies in your stomach, but the fact of the matter is, you can change their emotions just by doing a song. You can make them happy, you can make them sad, you can make them angry, just with your voice or just with your guitar or just with your drums. So that's what I tell people. You are the one that's in charge. There's no reason to be afraid, because you hold the power.
Let's say they have no rhythm, but there's some people that just do not have rhythm. And when it comes to like dancing, that's just me.
Oh yeah, I can't dance. I really can't, man. I'm not built for it. But rhythm. If you're asking if someone were to come in and want to learn how to rap or want to learn how to get rhythm, the way that the first thing that I would teach them is tongue twisters. So because that'll get people. Betty bought some butter, but she said this butters. But and if we can do that faster, Betty bought some butter, but and we get to that point, then our rhythm starts taking off on its own, and that way we can start to be very articulate and hit all of our words exactly how we want to.
But as far as the words, that's one thing. But then to get them like on a beat or to go with the song, that's an entirely different monster.
It is. Whenever I have students who come in and want to learn how to do a cappella with absolutely no music, first we'll sit there and count out a 4/4 time, make them pat their legs or something, or maybe I'll make them do, Buddy Holly, because Buddy Holly has that song Every Day, and you could do that a cappella with just a beat, and you can just tap with it, every day it's getting closer, so and then we take that away, and every day it's getting closer. So if you can keep time with your foot, or bob your head around or something like that, we get to that point. We do music theory when we start learning 4/4 time, 3/4 time, stuff like that, and once you get those beats in your head, you can get rhythm that way.
All right, and the other thing, where do you come up with the songs that you're going to... Are you driving down the road and listening to a song? And
It honestly, it all depends. It all depends. If, there's a song on my second album called Pornographic Garbage, and the reason that I wrote that one was I really, really wanted to put Insanulous in a predicament where he could not... he could not get out of it, and he ended up getting screwed in that way. So I'll think up weird, interesting ways to do things that way. I'm Fucking Crazy came around because I wanted. Really, the story behind that is in Florida a couple years back. There was that guy who ate that guy's face. You know, he was on bath salts and he just went absolutely batshit crazy. And I wrote "I'm Fucking Crazy" in like 3 days after that because I wanted to get the jump on it. So I bring up bath salts, I bring up eating somebody's face, you know, I bring up the Miami Police Department, you know.
And we have that to play a little later.
So it all depends, man. If something strikes my fancy or if I think it's funny, or, you know, I'll throw it down. I did a song on the first album, which is probably my least favorite song on the first album because it's a little bit more serious than the rest of them, called "The End," and it's very politically charged and how big corporations I feel are putting the squash on some people, but you know, I mean, it's whatever's going on at the moment, you know. I'll ride around that.
And you know, that brings up, you know, a great topic. And, you know, during our interviews, sometimes we like to, you know, lighten the thing. How do you feel being a, you know, vocal teacher and know that, you know, you had to go through all these years of training in order to do this?
Oh, I wouldn't change it. I would never change that. It's everything that I've done, whether it was the biggest douchebag vocal coach I ever had or one of the best vocal coaches I've ever had. Each one of them instilled in me something that I took away from it. You know, whenever I teach, I try to be as lenient as possible. You know, because the first fundamental rule of singing is to have fun, and so I was going somewhere with that, and I can't remember where I went with it. First rule of singing is to have fun. So I try to be really, really, really lax with people. I have no idea what question you just asked. I just drew a complete blank.
Well, the reason I was asking, you know, as far as, you know, working your tail off to get somewhere, how do you feel about certain people can raise minimum wage and people that did not do shit can make more money than what you make?
You know, I do pretty good at the job that I do. I really do. But even if you paid me pennies to do what I'm doing right now, I'd still do it. It's you got to have a love for the art. You know, I mean, I couldn't see myself doing anything else. And working up to this point, like I said, it's all been a life lesson. And if I can just the biggest reward for me isn't the money. It's not at all. The biggest reward for me is seeing someone else light up with the joy of music.
So, I mean, what I'm trying to say is, I am sure, you know, you've taught people or worked with people that really couldn't sing in the beginning, and then, you know, later down the line really had an amazing voice, or some about them. And I just can't even imagine what I know. I'm going rewind a little back to, you know, what I stated earlier, but I can't even imagine the good feeling it feels inside. Or
it's indescribable. It really, really is, man. You know, I mean, if you have a passion for something and you're not good at it, you keep practicing until you're amazing at it. You know.
And the crazy thing is, I bet that, you know, these people with these amazing voice are going back and saying, well, hey, thank you. You've done so much. Thank you so much, when, you know, you gave them the tools, but in actuality, they were the ones that had the voice.
Oh, yeah, they had the tools. I just helped them learn how to work them. Oh, yeah, most definitely. It's all on you. You know, it's all on you. That's the one thing I love about vocals rather than piano, which there's nothing wrong with any instrument whatsoever. But whenever you can do it yourself and you're not going through something else, you know, I mean, that's all on you. It's all on you, and it's just an amazing feeling to see someone light up like that.
I couldn't even imagine, but I do know, you know, that there are many artists that come on, you know, the show, and, you know, very grateful to have an outlet, because the normal, you know, quote unquote stations, which I think now they're all garbage and all corporate run.
Oh, of course. Same 4 songs every hour.
There you go. But shutting all these talented artists, I think is bullshit.
Oh yeah, of course, man. And this goes back to what we were talking about before. That's why the internet is such an amazing tool, is because you can get yourself out there. You can put the music that you do out there, and you don't have to worry about someone else promoting you. You can do it yourself.
Now, I've said this time and time again, and some people think I'm nuts, and I know that there's satellite radio out there. Mm-hmm. But I still think a company like a Comcast or, one of the major, or AT&T or one of the major companies is at one point going to somebody's going to build a box that in some way or shape or form that goes to your normal freaking internet bill where you can drive around in your car. I say it's only a matter of time.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, even nowadays, with the new smartphones, man, you got Bluetooth on there. You can just log into Spreaker, punch into Loco, and listen to it on your car stereo, man.
But I mean, I just think it's amazing how technology's changed. But going back to your life, do you have to put yourself in a rubber room or something to bring out this Insanulous character?
No, I just I did theater a whole lot, and just to switch him on, and even when I'm quote unquote switching on Insanulous, I never really become the character. I just try to think, what is the most deplorable, despicable things that I could write about, and just put myself in that mindset and then write about it.
So he's like your evil inner child.
Kinda. People have asked me, is he a split personality? Is he inside you? I don't even look at it like that. I look at Insanulous as a completely different person than me. I mean, if we were both in a room, I'd probably get up and walk out because of how terrible he is. So I don't even though he
wouldn't let you.
He probably wouldn't. He probably wouldn't. He'd probably have a drill or something there. But even though he does live inside my mind, when I think about him, I literally think about him as a completely separate entity from me,
So, off the air, we were talking, just regular things, and one of the things we noticed, seeing your tattoos, and you're, a big Nintendo or Mario fan.
Oh yeah, well I'm a big video game fan in general. My right arm is taken up by Mario, and the only reason that is because we were going to do a complete Nintendo arm with Link and all sorts of cool stuff on it, but we ended up doing Bowser, and he ended up being so huge that we had to just go with the Mario route with it.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm a big nerd, man. If it's video games or televisions or anything like that, man, I'm the biggest nerd you'll ever meet.
So is that through video games? Is that where the name Insanulous came from?
No, the name Insanulous actually came from an episode of How I Met Your Mother. I can't remember what season it's on, but there's a episode called The Possimpable, and they're sitting around thinking up words that you can put together. Possimpable, of course, is impossible, impossible in the same word. And two of the characters, one of them says insane, the other one says ridiculous, and then together they say Insanulous. And I was like, oh, what a great fucking word. I got to use that. So that ended up being my name.
That's weird, because I would think that the name came, out of all the TV shows, like The Big Bang Theory.
Right. Yeah. I guess I could have called myself the Higgs boson particle, but but no, Insanulous with the character that I was wanting to go with, because I do horrorcore, and because I rap about killing people and sex with sluts and all sorts of crazy shit. I figured with the horrorcore aspect of it, I'd have to go a little insane or ridiculous. So Insanulous it is.
Well, could that be somewhat drawn up from your from all the years of playing video games?
Oh no, of course not. I've always been able to tell reality from fiction, and even if I'm playing Grand Theft Auto 5, I usually pay the hookers, and not beat them with a bat. I'm a nice person.
I'm blowing up ambulances and everything else.
Where's my rocket launcher?
That's why they call me an asshole,
right? I've went on a few killing sprees. I won't lie.
You're going to fire, not today, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't have anything against people, but when it comes to video games, people have to realize a video game is just that, a video game.
Oh, exactly. It's like music. It's a complete fantasy world. It's an outlet. I mean, some people sit and they meditate, or some people do yoga. Whenever I meditate, I usually listen to some music and put on Tony Hawk and just skate around for a few hours. Man, that's my meditation.
Oh, I love Tony Hawk.
Hell yeah.
But the thing about it is sometimes they do teach people not how to shoot a gun.
No.
There's no video. I don't care how many times they say Grand Theft, or Call of Duty showed somebody how to shoot. They did not.
No, it's weird. I mean, people with crazy thoughts who go out and shoot people. A video game didn't do that, because you look at the billions of other people who play video games and don't go out and do that crazy shit. I mean, more people play that and don't go nuts than the people who do. And the benefits of video games. I mean, you look at the statistics of surgeons. Surgeons who grew up playing video games actually have a better record than surgeons who did not. They have better hand-eye coordination. So I mean, it can be a good thing. It can be a good thing. Now, I'm not saying let your 3-year-old, jump onto Dead Rising or anything. Give that a little bit until they can understand what's going on. But definitely let them play Disney Infinity. I mean, let them have an outlet there.
Exactly. Even like a game like Minecraft that really help people because it teaches them, patience.
Teaches them patience. Teaches them building. I mean, I've seen some crazy shit that people have done on Minecraft. It can be used as a learning tool. It really can. I'm not going to say use Grand Theft Auto or Call of Duty as a learning tool, but definitely as an outlet for I mean, if you're upset, don't go punch somebody in the face. Throw in a video game, just take a chill.
Now, I understand how, the virtual reality from the reality, just like from, Insanulous to you.
Oh, yeah, completely different.
Can impact somebody.
Yeah, it can, of course.
I have, seen a situation where, somebody was really good at Wii bowling and then went out to bowl and couldn't bowl worth a damn.
Oh, of course.
And threw a tantrum fit. But I had to explain to that person, and I'm not really going to mention names right now because I don't like to put younger.
Flicking a wand is completely different than picking up, an 8-pound, 12-pound ball and hucking it down a lane.
Yeah, exactly. And I had to explain to him, people, in real life, it's not the same.
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm.
But you're not the only one that does it. I will throw a gutter.
Yeah,
I have no problem. I was in a bowling league, and everybody on my team loved me. Because if I bowled a 90 or 100, I had such a big handicap that I almost had 200 right there.
There you go.
But what's funny, though, sometimes music can really get you in the mood and really, really make you, feel like you're something that you're not. It's like, for instance, when I was bowling and I heard that old song by Noriega that goes, what?
Oh, yeah.
Every time I heard it, I'd bowl the strike.
Right. Yeah, oh, yeah, man. Music is, and this goes back to another thing we were saying, music is such a melting pot, but it speaks to absolutely everyone. Even Helen Keller liked music. It speaks to everybody, and you can literally feel it in your soul. So it's such a beautiful thing, man. It really is.
All right, but before we move on, I'm going to play
/Insanulous. If you type Insanulous into Google, I'm the first thing that pops up. So I'm right there.
Well, there you go. All right. Do you have any last minute words? Actually, I'm going to ask you one last question.
Yeah, brother.
If somebody were to want to get into music, and I like to do this with all the artists because I'd like to hear the different things that people would say. And what would you tell them, knowing, how hard it is, as not only an artist, but a teacher, and how shitty the world can be sometimes?
Well, music makes me happy. I hope that music makes other people happy too. So I would tell people if they want to get into music, then just get into music, man. Pick up whatever you want to learn how to play, whether it's the bagpipes, the theremin, your voice. Pick up anything that you guys want to do and just do it. There's so many There's so many ways that you can learn how to do it. You know, the internet is such a beautiful thing. You can go on there now. You can watch tutorial videos, and even if they're not there anymore, you can go to websites where it explains things, or find a local music school. You know, I mean, there's people out there that want to help you so much. Like I said before, I would do this for free, you know, if I absolutely had to, because I just love sharing the knowledge of music with everybody. But everybody, just pick up something and learn how to play.
All right, and one last thing. For those local that are listening, you know, in the Knoxville area, and they want a vocal teacher, where would they go?
I don't know if I should. I don't know. You know what? Screw it. Maryville Rock Academy in Maryville, Tennessee. Look it up. MaryvilleRockAcademy.com. That's where we're at. All of our teachers are absolutely amazing.
Well, I definitely wanted you because I'd like for you to share it for people, because I think this, you know, interview, I think a lot of people will get a lot of good things out of it.
I hope so. Just don't take the music that you heard by me at face value. I promise you, I'm a nice person. So that's the only reason I was a little hesitant to drop the name, is because the stuff that I rap about is absolutely terrible. But I'm really, really nice. So come on in and get some vocal lessons, guitar lessons, all that good stuff.
Well, I mean, you talk about, you know, but that's not you. I mean, no. Tupac came from a very intelligent school.
Oh, of course, yeah. It's all character. It's all character, and everybody does it. We were talking about Miley Cyrus earlier. If you go to a Miley Cyrus concert, whenever she sings "Wrecking Ball," she's going to get up there and she's going to act sad. If the next song is "F.U." featuring French Montana, she's going to act sassy as hell. Every single song is a character piece, and every single artist does it.
Yeah, and when she's away from camera, she could be the nicest person. We never know.
Maybe. When is she ever away from cameras?
All right, well, this is Ray.
And Insanulous.
And you're listening to Two Loco Radio.
Two Loco!
86.5 on your Spreaker dial.
LOCO.
And it was a pleasure having you on. And
hey, thanks. I really had a blast, man. It was really fun.
And you have yourself a good night.
Yeah, you as well.
All right, take care.